Welcome to the Beatles Talk Show. Today it's March 9th.
Already? Can you believe it? Wow.
Crazy. Did you know on this date in 1963 the Beatles were on tour, this time touring with American pop stars Chris Montez and Tommy Rowe, and they performed in London. And
what did they sing? What songs did they do?
They played Love Me Do, Misery, It Tastes the Honey, Do You Want to Know a Secret, Please Please Me, and I Saw Her Standing There. And what was cool about this is that the Beatles were just becoming a big name. You know, they had their first #1 hit. And so the Beatles were not the opening act, but it was clear that everybody was there to see the Beatles and not the headliners from America.
I wonder how that made the headliners feel, eh? So what would have happened if the Beatles would have opened the show with Helter Skelter on the Ed Sullivan Show? How would things have been different?
Yeah. That would have been a shock for everybody, yeah.
I think so. Anyway, 1964, filming it continues for the movie A Hard Day's Night. They're filming more of the train scenes, which is kind of cool. It's moving, I think they go like 2,000 miles down the rails. It's like they just keep filming as they travel. Yeah. And you look at that movie, that train is old, man. It's like it's got to be like from the early 1900s or something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. On this date in 1965, the Beatles were in their final day of shooting in the Bahamas for their second movie, Help. And they were filming today on Paradise Island.
Right, and that movie was originally called 8 Arms to Hold You, which I've got on 45. It says from the movie 8 Arms to Hold You. Crazy stuff.
That's right, the original single came out early and did have the original unused title. That's right.
Yep.
On this date in 1967, the Beatles were in the studio in London and they were recording their song Getting Better, which would be on the Sgt. Pepper album a few months later.
Getting better all the time.
On this date in 1968, a very historic date for the Beatles and their acceptance from the older generation as the Beatles finally win 4 Grammy Awards. And they're all related to Sgt. Pepper being the masterpiece album of 1967. So they did win Best Album, they won Best Contemporary Album, Best Album Cover, and Best Engineered Recording.
That was a good day for them then. Yeah,
definitely.
1972, the man who would want to become their manager, Mr. Alan Klein, was fined, I think it was $1.2 million or something, for laundering money from UNICEF or something. That was, can you imagine that? What did he become their manager, Alan Klein, officially or not?
Maybe, I wouldn't say for the whole band, but 3 of them wanted to work with him,
wanted to, whether or not they did.
On this date in 1974, Paul and Linda took their children and the band Wings and they headed to Los Angeles.
Right.
But it turned out that Paul actually got a chance to meet up with John Lennon.
That's cool, eh? In 1974, and that was around the time that a Beatles reunion was talked about. It was quite serious, actually. That was the time away from Yoko Ono. He was living with May Payne, yeah.
And on this date in 1984, a new John Lennon single, Borrowed Time, was released. This is almost 4 years after his death, but it's a new single from Milk and Honey, which was the latest John Yoko album that she released, of stuff that they had been recording just before he died.
So my dear friends, come back when you can.